Здравствуйте! В эфире программа «Размышления. Детский недетский вопрос», и я ее автор и ведущий Дмитрий Брикман. В нашей программе ответы на простые, незамысловатые детские вопросы ищут простые, незамысловатые взрослые. Сегодня простой взрослый, который будет искать ответы на эти простые и незамысловатые детские вопросы, настоятель Храма Гроба Господня от Армянской Апостольской Церкви, Отец Самвел. А находимся мы в удивительном и даже слово «удивительное» это здесь как-то не работает вообще. Мы находимся в Храме Гроба Господня. Отец Самвел, здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте.
О, thank you. Отец Самвел, я сейчас немножко расскажу о вас, а потом начнем задавать вопросы. Петрос Агоян родился в 1940 году в Алеппо. В 15 лет приехал в Иерусалим и поступил в семинарию. 7 лет учился. В 1963 году закончил, рукоположился, еще 5 лет служил в Иерусалиме. Потом уехал в Америку в начале 70-х, точнее, в начале 69-го. В Америке изучал программирование в Сакраменто. Работал в Лос-Анджелесе и служил секретарем в епархии. Поступил в университет и учился на бизнес-администратора и бухгалтера. 7 лет, не 6 лет, 7 лет жил в Нью-Йорке, там закончил курсы по недвижимости. Уезжая из Иерусалима, он дал себе слово, что вернется. И вернулся через 30 лет, в ноябре 1999 года. И практически сразу стал настоятелем Храма Гроба Господня. Получил свет в 2000 году первый раз и стал лусааном. Лусаан – это человек, который получает свет, это человек, который заходит в храм Гроба Господня в день схождения благодатного огня, зажигает свечку от огня и протягивает ее. И дальше вот происходит то, что происходит здесь. Церковь вся в огнях, схождение благодатного огня. Фазер Самвел. Мы начнем с такой вот, у нас сложилась такая недавно, такая, что ли, вот рулетка, такая традиция. Я приготовил вам 120 вопросов. Пожалуйста, назовите цифру, и мы начнем с этого вопроса.
35.
35 – это какая-то очень важная цифра в вашей жизни?
Well, it's not important as much. Try to be in the middle, not the extreme ends. Okay, that's why I choose around in the middle.
Окей. Мы начнем с 35-го вопроса. Пять лет девочка. Что такое душа?
Soul is, in other words, is spirit which gives life, which is life itself. Without the soul or the spirit, there's no life. So even though we don't see it, but we have it. That's why we question what is soul. Because we cannot see and touch it, it's very difficult to explain. Or I could say, if soul is gone away from the body is dead. So that's why I said soul itself is life, that gives life and is life. Like we say, God is a spirit, God is soul. So we feel it, but we don't understand the essence of soul, other than saying that it is life, it gives life to mankind.
34 года мальчик. Что такое любовь?
You know, it's amazing. The same question is asked by adults, by old people, and by children too. It is something real that exists, we know. Even though we have it, we feel it, sometimes we have difficulty in explaining what it is exactly. But an experienced person should be able, with examples, to explain what love is. What I understand love is the following. Number one, life does not exist without love. That's for sure. Even a good person or a murderer, both people, they have love. Love is the, I would say, the acceptance or believing in of the good qualities that a person has. In other words, if you are a good singer, and if I like your song, I say, I love that song. In other words, I accept as if that song is mine. I enjoy it. And I live with that song. So love is, in my case, in this case, I am appreciating your love, giving a high price because it is valuable. So in life, if you are a valuable person is, number one, that has good qualities, good talents, good character, good behavior. If these are in the person, you love the person. Therefore, love is not something up in the air. It's something real. Therefore, I have to see the good qualities, the good side of the person for me to love that person because of his goodness. That's what I appreciate. I love it. But in order to love, it needs education and it needs effort for you to find out the good sides or the good qualities of the person in order to love that person. In other words, if I wanted to get married now, all right, I have to love the person, the lady. What should I do? Maybe she could be very beautiful, there's something else. But I'm looking inside the person. What is the qualities? What good sides the person has, so that that person could be or can be a complement in my life. I'm not complete. I want her to make me complete. So it requires effort and it requires work to love. It's not automatically. But many times I've said to those who ask questions, what is love? Shall I get married or not? I would say, when you're in love, don't get married. Because if you're in love, you don't use your brain as much. You use your feelings, which could be wrong in many times. So take your time, study the person, and whatever is your requirements, expectations from that person, if that person gives most of it, then I guess that's the person you should deal with her and select that person and improve in the meantime when you are dealing with that person. That's what love requires. Love has to develop itself during the years.
Следующий вопрос. У меня много вопросов к вам, вот 120. 9 лет мальчик, 14 лет мальчик. Бог есть или все это сказка?
That's another question that bugs people every time when it comes to conversation about God. What, as a human being, myself, I look for an a being. I want to find a being who is perfect, who is the best that I can benefit from that person. God is the essence, in my case, should be able to do creations, create things for me properly, and he created me too, to be part of his creation. Therefore, all I can say, God exists even though I don't see it, even I don't have the chance to talk to him, but my mind says to me, there must be someone there stronger than you, stronger or more intelligent and perfect for everybody. God to me exists in that sense. Therefore, I have to be thankful to God all the time that he created me and gave me all the possibilities and everything for me to enjoy, to live my life, because I owe my life to God. In that meaning, I say God exists, even though I cannot explain 100%.
10 лет мальчик. А кто кому нужен? Человек Богу или Бог человеку?
When I say God is perfect, he doesn't need, technically, he doesn't need anyone else because he created everything. But at the same time, the creation that exists has a purpose. And that purpose has to be achieved. How? He has to use his creation to help to achieve all his purposes. Therefore, God uses his creation for his glory, and I need him, but he doesn't need me. But I am his worker, employee per se, to do what I'm supposed to do.
Мальчик спросил, волшебство существует или оно только в сказке? Мы сидим в месте, где происходит вот такое главное действие, главное такое событие в христианском мире — схождение благодатного огня. Нужно же ли верить в волшебство или не нужно верить в волшебство? Есть это волшебство или нет этого волшебства?
When it comes to believing in things or in phenomena, like you said, fire, holy fire, miracle, or whatever, those things, of course, exist. We see it, we feel it, but how much of that is real miracle? I could be very experienced in manipulating things to you, and you think it's a miracle. But I know it's not a miracle. The miracle, the real miracle is done by God, because it should be divine. The real miracle is divine. And we believe in miracles because it happened. And if you read the Torah or you read the Bible, several miracles happened over there, which people saw with their own eyes, and it was a miracle, but other people couldn't do it except a divine person. All right. We believe in miracles, but that doesn't mean that we can order a miracle to happen right now. Because God or divine person does the miracle, He will do it when it's necessary for him, for his purpose, for his program, for his intention. The only thing we could do sometimes, we celebrate the occasion of the miracle that happened in the past, and if it's important, then we celebrate of its occurrence in our time. For example, the holy fire that we say, yes, it happened in the past. It could happen now. It could happen in the future. But if you ask me, since I have done it, the holy fire ceremony 3 times, okay, I have done it. If you ask me, in those 3 days, did miracle happen? I cannot say yes, because I did what I'm supposed to do, the steps to perform the ceremony of that miracle that we established in the church. Miracle didn't happen in my understanding what miracle is. But that ceremony is also important as much for me to remind people that miracle has important part in our lives. It could happen. So be ready when it happens to accept it. The holy fire in this case that we do is the celebration of Christ's resurrection. Saying that Christ is risen, because Christ called himself, he is the light of the world. So, in a fire ceremony or light ceremony, we call that the resurrection. That represents, reminds people that Christ has risen, and that's why we celebrate it in the best way possible that we can.
Чуть-чуть повернем. Ну, даже будет совсем не чуть-чуть. 7 лет мальчик. Кто такой грешный человек?
First, we have to explain what sin is. What sin is. Based on your education, based on your religion, based on your beliefs, you can say in a standard way what is sin. If you take the country's law, for example, driving laws, you're driving a car, there are certain rules and regulations. If you make a mistake against the regulations, you will be penalized. You are wrongful. So if you explain that in the religion, if you, for example, if you curse, if you lie, or if you steal things, it's a sin. Okay? If you do it more often, this kind of things, you become a sinful person. A sinful person is dangerous and is not a good example for humankind. It's not good for children, it's not good for the society. Therefore, the sinful person, the wrongdoer, should be penalized and should be sometimes secluded from the society so that we can stop him doing wrong things and disturbing the society. Because sinful person exists, the more there are, then the society will be disturbed and we will face with a lot of problems. To eliminate, we have to either educate the person that what you're doing is wrong, correct yourself, and there are corrective methods, and we try to correct people to stop doing wrong things so that the person and we can relate nicely and again be like brothers and sisters and live together happily.
А что, по-вашему, вот для отца Самвела самый главный грех?
Even though sins have different character, I cannot put all the sins on the same level. That's why it's very difficult to say which is the biggest sin. Right now, what I could think about it is when you destroy somebody's, not the belongings, but the person's soul. And that's what would be, if you kill the person, morally, that could be one of the biggest sins, because the consequences of that will be bad for the person. I can give an example. If I tell you, go get me some money, I don't care how you get it. You can steal, you can rob the bank and bring the money. And you say it's okay to rob the bank. And you go to rob the bank and brings the money. Now, later, that person will realize that what he did was wrong. Because after all, you have a soul, a spirit inside. You have a conscience. It tells you what you did was not right. Even though at that moment, you were forced, you thought it was okay to do it for some reason, and you did it, but later you regret because it was wrong. So, killing somebody spiritually will be one of the biggest sin that you could do.
15 лет девочка. Можно ли доверять людям?
Like as you want to be trusted, so you should also believe that others could be trusted. But you may have certain conditions. You trust to whom? You trust someone who does something right. And he doesn't lie to you. Whatever is good, actually, in the person, based on the good qualities or behavior of the person, you love to trust that person. So therefore, good people are trusted, in my understanding. And if you say you're a good person, you may, but that's not enough. I have to be convinced that you are a good person. What do you do? How do you do? If it's acceptable, then I will trust you. If it's not acceptable, I will not trust you.
Продолжение этого от вопроса и ответа. 7 лет девочка. Есть ли такая машина, которая может определить, хороший человек или нет? Есть ли у вас вот такой вот какой-то, лично у вас какой-то тест определить, хороший человек или нет?
But those tests could be private, only yours. Whatever your test is, for you is right, it's not enough for me. Enough test to believe.
Ваш тест.
If I'm trying to find friends for myself. Yeah, I want friends to be together. But at the same time, I don't want that friend to cheat, to lie to me all the time. And when I give to him something, I trust him, he should prove that what I did, what I expect from you, I should get it. If I don't get it, there's something wrong in our relationship. So, for me to trust you, I have certain requirements, like you have requirements to trust me. All right. I have, let's say, if I give you an appointment to meet someplace, I go there half an hour, 1 hour wait, you're not there. You don't call me, you're not coming. So, well, wait a minute, maybe by accident. Second time, third time, I try, it's the same thing. So I don't trust you in the appointment. And if I'm working with you together, and we have to share whatever we earn, whatever we benefit, we have to share 50-50. And you come to me and say, we made $100,000. Then you give me $50,000. Then I find out that actually you made $200,000 and you lied to me. And so you kept my share with you and you gave me less. I will not trust you then next time. So these are natural tests. People do it when they relate with each other. They will find out whether they should trust a person or not. If you are very naive in your thinking, and probably you will lose all the time because you're so naive, so nice, quote unquote, nice person. You trust everybody, whatever they say, whatever they do. At the end, you will see that you are the loser. So actually, it requires experience and a certain test you have to do it to trust somebody.
Мы не в первый раз с вами встречаемся, Отец Самвел, в этой передаче, и мы с вами уже один раз, мы вообще не первый раз с вами встречаемся перед камерами, и даже не второй. И в прошлый раз, вот, когда мы разговаривали на детских недетских вопросах, я вам задал вопрос. Вы сказали, вы так посидели, сказали, я должен подумать. Я его задал потом еще раз в этой передаче. Вы как-то тоже ушли от ответа. Прошло 6 лет с нашей прошлой встречи в детских недетских вопросах. Я повторю вам этот вопрос. У вас было время подумать. 9 лет девочка. Что такое совесть?
Conscience is your judge to tell you whatever you did was right or wrong. Of course, your conscience is developed based on your education, based on what you believe, actually. Your conscience could be compared to mine, could be much stronger than mine, but both are conscious anyway. Conscience is the inner side, which is the mixture of your brain and your feelings and your education. As I said, it's a spot in your body, let's say, which tells you, push the button, well, stop. Be careful. You may be mistaken if you do this or that, the way you think. And maybe at the beginning it won't tell you because you're so engulfed with the idea that you have to do it. You have to do it. No way. So you do it, then your conscience tells you, why did you do it? See, sometimes the conscience alerts you at the beginning, and sometimes you don't hear it at the beginning, you hear it later. And you regret, you cry, you feel bad, and you ask forgiveness that you did wrong in order to feel comfortable, to calm your inner inside. You have to ask forgiveness, and somebody has to forgive you what you did or compensate whatever you damage you caused to the other person. So conscience, if you go by your conscience, I think you will be a much better person if you consider your conscience and tells you, because conscience doesn't lie to you. It doesn't lie. It tells you, it warns you, be careful what you're thinking or what you're going to do. Be careful. It doesn't tell you, don't do it. Do it, but be careful. That's what conscience tells you, actually.
Скажите, пожалуйста, как вы думаете, почему вот этого термина нету в Библии? Ведь в Библии нету ни в Ветхом Завете, ни в Новом Завете. Вот не используется это слово, не используется даже это понятие.
it's not, the word is not there. But when you really bring together whatever is said, and then you ask your question, why that person start crying? After he did something, he came ask forgiveness. Why he did? So there is, even nobody tells him that he did wrong, he realizes that he did wrong. Because he didn't expect someone else to do the same thing that he did to others. So the conscience is there without realizing that it was there. But in practical, we use it. We use our conscience practically. It's there all the time to control or to guide us.
Резкий поворот. 13 лет и 10 месяцев мальчик. Что такое успех в жизни, в мире взрослых?
You know, you won't realize that you are successful until you reach to some point. Although you prepare yourself, you go to school for your study to become an engineer, whatever, and you try your best, you're not successful yet until you finish all the requirements. All the requirements that the school asks. When you finish it, the school will tell you, you succeeded. Here is diploma. But when I'm left alone, I don't know what to do. If I'm successful, then I should know what to do with it. I have the knowledge, but I don't know how to use it. So I need the experience. I will find out that I'm successful in my experience, in my action. If the action gives good results, expected results, then I could say I'm successful to a certain degree. Will that satisfy you also? That I don't know. What I'm doing is successful, I'm content, but you say, no, it's not enough. Father Sam, you have to do more things. Wow, if I expect you to recognize my success, then I have to finish all the requirements. Then I have to do more. Then you say, bravo, Samwell, you're successful now. Okay, so the society will decide actually in life in general if you're successful or not. If I'm a good singer, if only 100 people, you're good. But there are 1,000 people don't say that. But if there are 10,000 people, great singer, only 10 people, 100 people say it's not a good singer. I listen to the majority. So it depends. Success, to what extent, to what degree.
14 лет мальчик. А какое самое важное качество человека?
All qualities are important, let me tell you.
But for you,
well,
what do you think?
Yeah, well, for me too, many qualities are important. In other words, if I have the quality of speaking, give lectures, well, I do that. If I have the qualities of educating children, for example, well, that's another quality. A professor may not be able to teach children, although he has the education. Another talent needs to relate to the children and to bring them together to listen to you, to like you, to follow you. So qualities is so many. For me, the most quality is be trustful. I want people to trust me. Also, well, I don't know which one to exactly point out my qualities. Is it to be a good person, good quality? Well, you cannot say that. Everybody wants to be a good person. Good quality is perseverance. In other words, if I have a job to do, I have to pursue it. I have to go after it, not just one day then stop. So that's very good. To be successful, you have to perseverance in your work. So that's one of the most to be perseverance in your actions, in your.
8 лет девочка. Что такое национальность? Вы жили в разных странах, вы видели разных людей, вы, так сказать, служите уже здесь 21 год, вы видите людей разных национальностей. Что это такое?
Well, nationality at some point, it's not up to me to choose. At some point, you decide to what nationality you want to belong, which means a nationality is a thing that you have, you live in a place, in a group of society, which has its unique language, its music, literature, and beliefs, religion. You can add all those items in it. And it has a country too, to live, area to live. So nationality is a group of people who have, in general, the same goal, the same future, the same presence, and the same past. So they deal with their past, their present, and looking forward to go in the future with the same way that they or the person is established as a nationality. If you're Armenian, you have to develop the Armenian things within you and help that the Armenian customs, Armenian language, Armenian religion, or behaviors, whatever, to maintain, keep it. That's nationalities actually.
Но вот вы прожили больше трети жизни в Америке. Вы жили совершенно в другой культуре. Вы родились в Сирии, в Алеппо, и вы приехали в Иерусалим. У вас как бы нету вот то, что вы говорите, у вас это не, вы жили в другой культуре практически всю свою жизнь. Почему вы считаете себя армянином?
Well, to me, the basic is the most important thing. My basic was Armenian in every way, even though I lived in Syria, which they have different culture, different traditions. I lived in the United States, they have different language, different culture, and different society. I appreciate their culture that appeals to me in good way. I'm not saying that all Armenian culture that we have is good or best. I'm not saying. Likewise, Americans or Syrians or Israel, it doesn't matter. Because culture changes itself, whether you like it or not. It is under pressure of other stronger cultures. If Armenians live in the United States, they're under a stronger pressure, under a stronger culture, and they give in. They don't lose their language. They don't lose their custom. Little by little, it disappears, unfortunately. But in order to keep your identity, because your culture, everything gives you identity that you're different. You are a member of a different society. So Well, in other words, any society should not go. If you want to keep your culture, your society, your nationality, if you want to keep it, don't mix yourself with other societies. Otherwise, you will be a mixture of different things, then it will alter a lot of things.
А вы можете дать вот простое определение, что такое армянин?
To me, what Armenian means to me, what Israeli means to Israel. The same thing. But because it's different race, different people, with different history, with different tradition, different language, different literature, a lot of things different. That's why there is a distinction between me and Israelis or Americans or Syrians. Even though I was born in Syria, I don't consider myself Arab. I am a Syrian because of the local area government. They give you a Syrian passport, whatever. But I'm not Arab. Like, if you were born in Russia,
I wouldn't.
Are you Russian? Well, it depends. If you prefer to be Russian, you say, I'm Russian, you say. Or if you prefer to be Israeli, you say, I'm Israeli, you say. So it depends how much you like yourself, your Armenianhood, how much you like it, how much you appreciate, how much you give credit to your nation, then you go from there. So, an Armenian is like other nationality. It's a different brand. It's a different brand of cognac. What can I say? Yeah. So it has a different taste.
14 лет девочка. Что бы ты поменял, если бы оказался в средних классах?
You know what? If you're back to my student time, I really wouldn't change much other than realize and pay more attention to education. When you're a student, you don't pay that much attention, actually, because you do a lot of things. You are related to different things, and sometimes it's hard to concentrate on your studies. But later, when you find out that education is very important, so I would stress, probably change the style of my education. Education is the center part and a strong basis for you to develop and on the way to be successful. So we have to pay more attention to our children nowadays, especially because so many aspects are there for them to relate, and they miss the important part of the life. So we have to eliminate certain things in children in social life and make them like and love education and give them the basis. And eventually, whatever they learn, we think they may forget it, but it will be within inside, it will be part of their conscience. It will be a part of their conscience, and they will be very careful whatever they do. And to look good, to look better, and why not be famous? Yeah.
Продолжение ответа. 7 лет мальчик. А зачем знать?
It's so simple because, you know what? When you do something first time and you don't know, don't you ask question, what is this? Sure, see? The nature of man is as such, without realizing it wants to develop itself. And because we have the brain that works, asks questions, penetrates in things, situation that you're not aware, what kind of situation is this, you say? For example, if you have a kind of fruit that you never met first time, what is this? What do you do? How you eat it? See, but you don't know whether you like it or not. So learning, educating yourself what it is, how it could be used. Maybe you don't like it. You say, that's not my cup of tea. You put one side. Therefore, education, the purpose of education is, number one, to give information, knowledge to the person for him to make the choice. Which way to go, what to select for his life to be. Because if I'm not comfortable being a priest, why should I be a priest? If I'm not comfortable to be in a choir, I don't go there. So, education is important. It's a knowledge for me, for you, to make a choice later how we want to govern or control your life to the best way possible.
14-летняя девочка, они с мамой ругались, 14-летние девочки с мамой ругаются, и мама говорит, ты все знаешь, ты все знаешь. Он говорит, да, я все знаю, я только не знаю одного, как стать счастливой. А как стать счастливым?
First, we have to know what is happiness.
Yeah.
I have to teach myself and whoever that happiness is the feeling content in yourself. In other words, if I'm hungry, if I get a good food, I'm happy because I'm not hungry anymore. If I have a pain, I give a kind of miracle do for you, medicine or whatever, and pain will gone. So you will be happy. Anything that could damage or hurt you, send them away. Well, I have to teach how to do those. If it's education, I educate. If it's experience, I will give them experience how to do it. Or what not to do it in order not to be hurt. Or be a stand on your way that you cannot be happy. So eliminate those negative things, quote unquote negative things, so that you will have what you want in order to be comfortable. So comfort, in this case, is translated as happiness.
Сейчас будет такой блок вопросов, короткий блок вопросов, называется «Вопросы японской девочки». Вопросы короткие, ответы еще более короткие. Когда я был в Японии, мне было тогда 52 года, ей было 8 лет, я сказал, скажи мне такой вопрос, на который я не смогу ответить. И она мне задала вопрос. Ответь одним словом, о чем ты думаешь последние 52 года. Значит, ответь одним словом, о чем ты думаешь всю свою жизнь.
I guess it will be action. In other words, action is work. Because we have all the time to work, that's the most important thing. We have to do something, whether talk or do, it's work, working. Is that satisfactory?
Девочка подросла, исполнилось 10 лет. И она мне прислала такое уже видеообращение, начинала «Здравствуйте, Брикман-сан», и потом она даже по-русски мне это говорила. Ответьте на мой вопрос. Назови свою жизнь одним словом.
Oh, that's very difficult, man. In one word. Look forward. Hope. No.
It's great.
Great or
It's
not
great.
great?
Look forward is great. It's great answer. Девочка подросла, значит, еще чуть-чуть и задала следующий вопрос. Как ты думаешь, если Бог есть, и Он вдруг придет к тебе, что Он сделает для тебя? Не в смысле что-то попросить или что-то исполнить твое желание. Вот просто Он от себя для тебя, что Он сделает? Ну, сложно, конечно, вам говорить, что такая фраза «если Бог есть», но вот какой был вопрос, такой и есть.
Well, he might. I have two choices. He might burn me, saying that you're a bad guy, or he will praise me. You're good work. You work for me, so I'm going to praise you. Either one.
Мальчик из города Ижевска, он послушал эти вопросы японской девочки и спросил, задал свой вопрос. Скажи одним словом, что такое детство?
Desiring.
Мальчик спросил, все ли можно простить или есть вещи непростимые?
Well, to answer that question, I guess I have to look into the religion, because who is going to forgive? As a person, I may forgive certain things, I may not forgive certain. But as God eventually we will believe that God exists, so He's the ultimate judge. His judgment is immaculate, clear, and just. There is one sin that cannot be forgiven in Christianity. And that is when you blaspheme the Holy Spirit, it will not be forgiven. Everything else will be forgiven. Meaning, since Holy Spirit is the essence of God, is the knowledge of God, is the Spirit of God, the ability of God, everything that God has, it's in the Spirit. If you curse that Spirit, it will not be forgiven. Whether you believe or not, if you're a Christian, you should believe it.
Отец Самвел, мне вот давно так, мне часто бывает, что в передачах мне не хочется заканчивать и выключать камеры, но давно мне так не хотелось говорить, что надо заканчивать, и мы добрались до последнего вопроса, но до последнего вопроса мы добрались. Вопрос, он по-разному бывает. Сегодня будет вопрос вот без всяких там, каких-то... Вот простой вопрос, вот что называется в лоб. 15 лет мальчик. Каков, по-твоему, смысл жизни?
I know that I exist. How I existed, I don't know. In other words, if I didn't create myself, I don't know the purpose, exact purpose of life, I wouldn't know. I may probably explain to you what I learned, what I read, this and that, that's something else. But not knowing how I was existed, what life is, I cannot give the answer. Nobody can give the answer. But because of the experience I have, because whatever, even though I have the soul inside. It will give you some kind of understanding. What I would say life is something that exists. Exist means whatever I'm doing, it will be continued as far as possible. And after me, will people come, have the same life in their way, and they will continue. As it happened in the past, there were a lot of millions of people, continue all today, you know. So life is existence.
Я поворачиваюсь в камеру и... Ну вот вы меня понимаете, мне совершенно не хочется сейчас вставать, отсюда уходить. Собственно говоря, камера-то выключится, а мы с отцом Самвелом еще продолжим разговор. Но так или иначе, программа, удивительная программа «Детский недетский вопрос» в удивительном месте, с удивительным человеком, отцом Самвелом, подошла к концу. Отец Самвел, спасибо вам за этот разговор.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
И я надеюсь, до скорых встреч снова.
Anytime, if I could be helpful for your program, I don't know, I will.